yesterday the screen recording didn't work. So we're gonna... In this video we're using an easy way to help you start drawing. So I used this method before and then we were drawing faces. I can link this video here. But now we're drawing birds and we're using the simple technique, which is we're going to drag some lines and then we can make birds out of it. It's just a simple way to just get you out of this stuck blank page thing. First of all, I'd like to color in the background. So for this coloring in, I used a wet sponge. It is in Procreate. And I'm just gonna fill in the background with some color, which makes it nicer to draw on it. Then make a new layer. I'd like to use dry ink with a gray tint. I love to use grays for this one. We're just gonna drag some lines. I guess 3, maybe a little bit more, like. And now that we have these lines, since we're going to make birds, we're gonna connect the outer edges of the scribbles. Birds have beaks, so that's what we're gonna draw next. Then it gets more of a shape. I think this one is upside down, so let's make eyes. And then the legs. I guess this one is easy. Have some coffee first. Draw some legs and some paws. Maybe this one has another leg as well. This one is in a very weird position, I see. So we're gonna just, I don't know, maybe his leg is underneath. Maybe he falls or dances. And then, I don't know, just maybe make this going here. This one, he has a very long leg, so we need to fix that, but let's keep it for now. This one is straight up as well, just like the first one, but maybe it is like going this way. So next, what I'd like to have the birds to have is like feathering chest or some kind of chest, like belly, feathers. Oh, I love to draw birds. I've been drawing birds a lot. I don't know why, but I don't know, I love the freedom of the birds they have. They can fly. They can fly wherever they want. I'll give them some hairs. I always give them some hairs. Now this is a rough sketch. So what I like to do is I create another layer and decrease the opacity of the first layer. I'll trace this line and this one. So scribbling at first, it forces you to make something like this lower one here. He's very dramatic. It forces you to be creative and think of how you should draw the bird. So I love that you're not completely in control of how the base looks like. So now we can deselect the first sketch. But it's personal preference. I'd love to have it like maybe a loose extra line, just to have the feeling of it being a sketch. I just love the style of this, and maybe thicker some other lines. Maybe one paw, not a paw, they have claws, right? maybe one leg and claw is thicker than the other one. We're just playing here. Yeah, so this one is so dramatic. I love it though. So, alright. Now comes the fun part. It is coloring. I was thinking maybe this one is facing the wrong way. So what we're gonna do is have the selection tool on freehand, and we just select it and flip. Yes, I think I like that better. Alright, so there's multiple ways to color in objects. The easiest way is to make the line artwork a reference layer. And then we can create another layer below it. We can drag a color, drag and drop, because he's using the reference of the line art. So that's one way to do it. We drag and drop the colors to the birds. I personally love to fill in by hand because I love to color in. I think it's a very relaxing thing to do. So I make the brush size a little bit bigger. And another thing, if you draw by hand or color in by hand, you can see some of these, how do you say, like texture, because just filling in the layer is just completely filled in. It's just another way of coloring in. Alright, I think the beaks are gonna be pink, like very, maybe reddish, bright color pink. That's nice. And then I'd love to add some texture. We can add shadows or highlights, but what I love to do also is to use a texture. Yesterday I used Signet, this one, Signet, I don't know how you pronounce it. We can make another layer. We use the clipping mask, so we only draw on the bird. And then what I'd like to use is, to keep it simple, I pick a gray, somewhere on the grayscale, a gray tint, and then I just start adding the shadows, if you like. But what I love to do is just play with the blend options, because it doesn't have to be a shadow. It can be, this one is nice, for example, it can be a lighter color. Add, for example. It is contra-intuitive, I don't know, because most of the times, like the lower parts is darker than upper parts because the light is coming from above. But you know, we're drawing here, we can draw anything we like, so that's nice. We can create another layer, clipping mask. Same technique, maybe have a smaller size, and then we add the highlights, but these are not really highlights because I love to give this one a color. We go to the blend options, and I just saw some what did I see? You can always lower the opacity to make the color less intense, because I think this is too much. I'm not so sure what I wanted to do with this. But what I wanted to say is, using like one grayscale, you can use with any color, because it depends on the blending mode, how it turns out. So of course you can eye drop, like pressing your finger on the screen, and then maybe lower the color, but this just makes the process like longer, and We just want to freely sketch and just enjoy our sketching here, right? So maybe hard mix is a good one. Blush. I just want to have them little cheeks. I'm gonna use a hard brush and some pinkish color. I'm not sure. Whoa, this one is big. Maybe it's a little bit smaller. We can use different colors here, but we can also use adjustments here and change the hue of the color. And maybe the saturation a little bit, or the brightness, so that it fits every color. I think this is the good one. And lastly, I'd like to add some kind of highlights, but we're using the dry ink here, set to a smaller size, and we're just tracing some of where the light could hit our little birds. I don't want them to be like balloon glossy, so just a little here and there can make the illustration like looking more cute, maybe. So I still miss something here on the background. We can use in the abstract section the spike hue, and then we're gonna add to the background some, whoa, I'm using the blend mode again to see if there's another. This one is nice. Add. Yeah, so here you have. I personally love stickers a lot, so I'm going to draw a white border around these birds. So I use the hard airbrush monoline you can use as well. First, don't forget to turn off reference, because otherwise it won't fill in the right way. And what I love to do, I'm just tracing the line. You can use, you've probably seen if you've seen more videos, people using this layer and then use the Gaussian blur and just fill that layer in. But I found then the lines are just too pixelated. Plus I love this process of just tracing the lines. So you can speed up this part. I think it's very interesting to see and watch. And what we also can do is just color in the borders. I love white. We can duplicate, deselect, and just, for example, pink. It's too bright for my liking. We can shovel up the brightness, maybe change the hue here until you find something that you like. Purple's nice. So here you have 3 birds, and thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.